Hey, welcome. My name is David Gewertz, and today we're going to be talking about the core plugin for my private site. Today we're going to do something kind of interesting. We're going to start with an overview created by Notebook LM, the Google AI product, and it's pretty good. So why don't you watch that for a minute or two, and then I'll come back and I will give you a demo.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are looking at a really neat WordPress tool that's all about creating a secure, private space online, but, and this is the key part, without all the usual headaches. It's for those times when you just need to lock your site down for a trusted group of people. Okay, so let's just jump right into the problem this thing solves, because I'm sure a lot of you have been here. You need to make your site private. Maybe it's for a class you're teaching, an internal site for your team, or even just a family blog. But all the tools out there feel like you're using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. And this right here really lays out the core difference. You've got these huge, heavy membership plugins on one side with all this stuff you probably don't need. Payment systems, complex subscriptions, you name it. And on the other side, you've got my private site. It's lightweight, it's focused, and it's built to do one job really, really well. Simple, effective privacy. So how does it actually do it? Well, I love this analogy. Think of it like a digital velvet rope for your entire website. Let's dig into how it pulls off that instant, complete privacy. It is honestly this easy to lock everything down. No joke. You activate the plugin, you pop into the settings, and you check literally one box. And boom, that's it. Your whole site is now private, and only people who are logged in can see a thing. And when we say complete privacy, we really mean it. This isn't just about hiding a page or two. It means nobody sees your content, not your posts, not your media, not even search engines like Google, until they log in. If you try to go to any URL on the site, you just get bounced right back to the login page. It's a total lockdown. Okay, so locking the door is one thing, but what about the experience for the people you actually want to let in? You want that to be seamless, right? So now let's look at how you can customize the user journey and create a really smooth experience for your members. So someone logs in, what happens next? You get to decide. The default setting is pretty clever, actually. It sends them right back to whatever page they were trying to get to in the first place. But you have total control. You can send them to the homepage, the WordPress dashboard, or any other custom URL you want. It just keeps the whole flow feeling logical and smooth. Now, if you've gone to the trouble of creating a really nice, branded login page for your site, no worries. This plugin plays nice with others. You just tell it the URL of your existing page, and it will send everyone there instead of the plain old WordPress screen. A key thing to remember, though, it supports your page. It doesn't build or design it for you. But what if total lockdown is a little too much? Maybe you want a public-facing landing page. Well, right out of the box, the core plugin lets you make your site's homepage public with just a single checkbox. Super easy. Now, if you need more fine-tuned control, like making an About Us page public or maybe a whole /blog section, that's where the optional Public Pages add-on comes into play. All right, next up, let's talk about a very modern concern, content protection. Because these days, it's not just about guarding your site from human visitors, we also have to think about automated bots and AI scrapers. And this is pretty cool. The core plugin actually comes with basic AI protection built right in. It automatically blocks major AI crawlers like GPTbot and adds no AI tags to your pages. Think of it as a digital no trespassing sign. But if you want to get really serious with a full-on firewall and countermeasures, there's an optional advanced AI defense add-on for that. This protection also extends to something kind of technical but really important, the REST API. You can think of it as a data backdoor into your WordPress site. And with another simple checkbox, this plugin lets you slam that door shut for anyone who isn't logged in, closing off a common way for bots to scrape your private info. So we've mentioned add-ons a couple of times. For those of you who have more specialized needs, the core plugin is just the beginning. There's a whole ecosystem of these optional add-ons that you can use to extend what it can do. And this modular approach lets you pick and choose just the features you need. You can see the whole catalog here. There's stuff for advanced security, like that AI defense or blocking specific IP addresses. There are flexible access tools, like creating temporary guest links. And you can get really granular, hiding specific blocks of text or making posts with certain tags public. There's even an add-on for tracking who's logging in. Okay, so after all that, what's the big picture? What does this all add up to? Let's bring it all together and talk about who this is really perfect for. This is the sweet spot. It's for any situation where you're dealing with a trusted audience. You're not selling access, you're just creating an exclusive space. It's perfect for a classroom website, an internal portal for your company, a private blog for sharing family photos, a site for your local club. Oh, and it's a total game changer for keeping a site private while you're still building it. Ultimately, it really just boils down to this. It's about peace of mind. It's giving you the control to know for sure that your private content is staying private without you having to wrestle with some ridiculously complicated system. So, this tool really just hands you the lock and key to your own exclusive online space. It takes care of the security part so you can focus on the important stuff.
Okay, and now it's time for the demo. So let's start off with the plugins page itself. My private site is something that you can download from WordPress.org. Once you do, you just activate it and it creates a menu on the side of the page. There are also add-ons that you can purchase, and they do some very cool things, if I say so myself. But for the moment, we're going to talk about the base unit, the base plugin that's available completely for free. So once you click in, you'll see a menu of tabs along the top. This is the beginning page. And one of the most important things that you can do is enter your email address and subscribe to my updates list. And that's important because if there's a new version, and this, for example, is a brand new version with a lot of new features, it's really good for you to know that ahead of time. I usually let users know sometime ahead of the release of new code so they can do any testing or anything else that's necessary. All right, so with that, let's go over to our site privacy page. This, if you know nothing else, this is all you really need to know. This is what makes this thing so capable. So let's take a look at how you can use this. First off, I have a sample site here. This is a demo site set up using the publicly available WordPress test data, which is used by developers for testing plugins and themes and things like that. And here we're on the home page. There's a bunch of pages available from the menus that are incredibly exciting. There's a privacy policy and a page filled with lorem ipsum just because, and a set of categories for things that you can do with themes if you care. So that's the overview of the site. I'm running this in an incognito or private site mode, and the reason for that is so that I can show you log in and log out here while at the same time keeping the interface open so you can see how it performs. So as you saw, right now I'm moving along the site, I'm not logged in, and I can get to all of the pages. Let me point out that it says the site is not private, which we've discovered as we went digging along and clicking on the various pages. So I'm going to come back over here, I'm going to click Enable Login Privacy, save the privacy status, now the site is private, and you'll see when I refresh, I get a login. And that's it. I can go to any of the pages. I'm going to log in. And go to any of the pages logged in. And in fact, I'm going to grab the URL of this lorem ipsum page just because it'll show you what I mean. I'm going to log back out. And even if I paste in that URL and know the URL directly, I get a login. So with just that capability, with just that simple feature here, clicking Enable Login Privacy, your entire site is locked down. Now, there's a few things that you can do, like change the landing page, change where you wind up when you log in, things like that. But before I do that, I want to spend a minute to sort of talk to you about the limits of privacy on my private site, because this is a great tool for students, it's a great tool for teachers, it's a great tool for families, it's a great tool for developers, it's a great tool for website builders who want to lock down a site for a little while they're working on it. But it is not a cryptographically secure site. And what I mean by that is it's not something you want to use if you're protecting medical records or if you're protecting information that if it got out could cause severe problems or major financial records. For example, there are three major limitations that I'd like you to be aware of. The first is that it does not hide non-WordPress web pages like HTML or PHP. So if you put an HTML page in your WordPress directory and somebody goes to that page, it's not going to be hidden. It only hides what's delivered through WordPress. Number two is it does not restrict images, media, text, PDFs, any of those sorts of things that are accessed directly by their URL. So if somebody has the URL to, say, a PDF on your site, this is not going to block their access to the URL. It will block access to the page that links to that URL. So if you don't give out the URL to the PDF, people won't be able to get to it because they won't know it. But if they have the URL, they'll be able to grab it. And third, if your hosting provider's file systems protections haven't been set up correctly, they could conceivably go to a directory and see a directory listing. And so that's something else that my private site doesn't cover. So think about it this way. If it's accessible via WordPress, my private site makes your site private. If it's accessible outside of WordPress, my private site doesn't touch it. So keep that in mind. And again, if you're concerned about HIPAA regulations or FERPA or any of those sorts of things, you want something that's a vastly more robust system. But if you're looking for simple and easy one-click protection, this is your tool. Okay, so let's talk about some new features, some additional features in here, because right now you're on the landing page. Even if you click back to demo site, there's nothing here. So what if you want to be able to tell people, hey, I'd really like you to know that you're supposed to log in or come see me for an account if you want to get access to this. That's done by enabling the homepage. And so we'll go over to homepage here. And what we'll do is we'll say, allow site homepage to remain accessible without requiring a login. So let's go ahead and make that doable. And so now what will happen is you can have that homepage remain accessible. So if we come back here and we type in this site's on ZDebug, which is one of my debugging sites. Now if we come to the homepage, you can see the homepage. But if you go to any of the other pages, you still are required to log in. So that allows you to have the flexibility of some kind of welcoming page and still have the rest of your site locked down. Now, I will tell you that there is a plugin that will allow you to allow specific individual pages to be opened up to the public and will allow you to have specific pages with prefixes. Like, for example, all of these are prefixed. Well, you can't see it because you're not logged in, but all of these are prefixed by the phrase category, and all of these are prefixed by the phrase about. And let me take you to the add-ins. The public pages add-on will allow you to have all of that capability. So if you decide you want to upgrade and have a lot more flexibility in what pages you make public, there you go. That's an option for you. So in addition to the home page, though, we talked about the ability to tell somebody, welcome to my page, right, and log in. So let's go to this home page, and let's make a change here. We'll go into pages, and this is the home page. And let's just type in, welcome to my page. If you want to get access, please contact the administrator for a login ID. This site is protected by my private site. Okay, so, and I'll give it an exclamation point. There we go, exclamation. And there we are, and we update that. I'll go back to WordPress, and I'll go back to my private site, and refresh, and here is that sentence. I think I want to make that bold, so I'm going to come back here for a second. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to make it bold so it stands out. Okay, and come back here, and we're good for the moment. So now when somebody comes into this page, they can see welcome to my page. But here's an interesting question. When you log in, so let's log in. Okay, let's log in using the actual password. Much better. I still see this, which is kind of annoying because I'm now logged in. I don't really need that prompt. And that brings us to the shortcodes feature of my private site, which allows you to take a chunk of text and only display it if you're logged in or only display it if you're logged out. For example, privacy hide if logged in will hide the text if you're logged in, and privacy hide if logged out will hide the text if you log out. So what we're going to do is we're going to surround that chunk of text with this message. So I'm going to copy that. If you're hearing noise in the background, we have just suddenly gotten a thunderstorm, so that's always exciting. All right, so hide if logged in, and let's move this to over here, and we'll update it. Now we're logged in right now, so refresh, and you notice it's gone. As soon as I log out, however, and I go back to the home page, there you go, it's visible. So logged out, you see this message, but logged in, you don't. Now, in my private site, there are also a whole bunch of other options available in, it's time for the upsell, the selective content add-on. The selective content add-on has the ability to hide stuff, not only whether you're logged in or logged out, but whether you're an administrator or an editor. It allows you to truncate information. It allows you to scramble information. And in my favorite, allows you to put lorem ipsum in replacement of that information. It also will allow you to selectively hide widgets and sidebars based on the access to that site. So that's there. But I do want to talk briefly about landing page. And landing page is where you go once you're logged in. So so far in this case, we've landed on the home page. But what if we want to change that up a little bit? I'm going to log out. And once again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to log in, and just remember that we're landing on the home page, okay? But I have a page, all pages, called Welcome Friend, which is this page here. And what I want to do is set it up so that when we log in, we go to the Welcome Friend page, because that's much more welcoming for people who are our buddies who come in. So I'm going to go over to landing pages, and in this case I'm going to say redirect to a specified URL, like that, and save my landing page. Okay, and so you can see we have zdebug.com/welcomefriend. And once again, let's go back to the demo site. So we're on the home page, but now we decide, okay, we're going to log in. And we can either log in by hitting login here or going to one of the pages that generate a login notice. So that's what I'll do. And I'll log in. And this time we go to Welcome Friend. So rather than being brought back to the home page, you're brought to a special page because you're one of the members or friends or family or constituents of the site. And if you go back to home page, you'll notice that the please log in or get yourself an admin to give you an account is gone as well. So that's a capability here, and you can have somebody return to the same URL where they were trying to go to before. You can let them go to the site home always. You can move them to the admin dashboard always. You can get rid of, this is a sort of advanced feature, you can get rid of the redirect to thing in the URL, which basically eliminates the redirect options that some other sites might have set. And you can redirect to a specified URL, which is what I just showed.
Another very powerful feature of my private site is under site privacy and in the AI defense category. Now, AI defense is here to help block training bots from AI so that they don't siphon off your content. But there is a full tutorial in this video, so I'm not going to go into it much here. I will tell you, though, that you can use AI defense whether or not privacy has been enabled. So you can use it on any site regardless of whether or not you're setting up a private site. It will help to block those AIs. And There is a much more advanced version that will do active mitigation with regard to AI robots as well, which is described also in the tutorial here.
Now, what you've seen essentially are the key features of My Private Site. I'm going to show you a couple quick things. You can customize My Private Site based on registration, in which case you can have certain people register or not register. You can set up your licenses when you buy an add-on. Remember, this add-on page has all sorts of upgrade add-ons that are available, and I'll be making more for this service. And then finally, I'm going to show you the Advanced tab. And the Advanced tab is for advanced users. There's a little red section here that says this is dangerous. That's what it means. If you screw around too much with the landing page and the advanced options, you could lock yourself out of your site. So I don't recommend you use the advanced page unless you're advanced. And I also don't recommend you use the advanced page unless you set this up on a test site that you can blow out and recover, so that you really understand what it will do to your login system as you're experimenting. Because you could actually create a situation where you can't get back into your website. So as long as you don't screw with the advanced page, you're going to be pretty good. But, you know, it's there for those people who really need it. But I do recommend caution. And that's it. We have covered My Private Site in most of its key features. Thank you for joining me on this little tour. My name is David Gewirtz, and I look forward to helping keep you folks private.